Today, the United Nations recognizes World Science Day for Peace and Development, a day that highlights the vital role science plays in society, not just in labs and classrooms, but in how we live, learn, and solve global challenges together. Joining us is Dr. Rhianna Neely, an environmental scientist at the Ministry of Environment, who's passionate about making science accessible and showing how it can be a force for peace, progress, and purpose. Welcome to What's Trending, Dr. Neely.
Thank you very much for having me.
Happy World Science Day.
Happy World Science Day.
So for those who don't know, talk to us a little bit about this day, how it came about and why it's so important.
So, well, science is very critically important to all of us. I like to say that in the Bahamas especially, a part of my job is making sure that the science feeds into the policies that we see, especially as it relates to the environment.
Right.
And so we need to definitely have science at the forefront in the Bahamas, driving what it is that we're seeing. We see a lot of changes in our country, biodiversity changes, climate changes, chemical changes, all kinds of things. And the science, what we're researching, what we're learning, should be driving the policies that we see.
And so the UN called it World Science Day for Peace and Development. Talk to us about that connection, that bridge. How does it all come together?
So, well, first of all, science is the pursuit of knowledge, right? So anybody is a scientist. And so science can be applied to peace. Okay. We're using a lot of artificial intelligence to show us how do we get around or how do we communicate. I know a lot of people in my office, they tend to use it to soften some language. So artificial intelligence, space, all of these sciences, chemistry, mathematics, physics, have taught us that certain things apply straight across the board. And when we apply these principles, then we can get the desired result. And so when we're looking at science, like I said, anybody and everybody is a scientist. Once you are pursuing knowledge, you can apply that knowledge to the getting of peace. You can apply that knowledge to the development of policy, to anything essentially that you want to do.
And I like that you said that, because a lot of people feel like science has no place in their everyday life.
No.
And they live it, and they're doing science without even knowing it sometimes. When you talk about AI, but what about health? What about other avenues of technology? What about the beauty industry? Like, so many ways science is applied to our everyday life. So remind us that we live it every day, we do it every day, and that it's something that's here to stay.
So when I was working on my master's degree, I did a focus in environmental education. And I worked with a lot of women who were training to be teachers, and they were essentially afraid of science. They were afraid to teach chemistry and physics.
Why?
And because on the face of it, you look at these numbers, and you look at these letters and these numbers and these signs, all of them communicating together. But what I said to them was, what I reminded them, I asked them a question. How many of you have ever relaxed your own hair? I have never relaxed my own hair or colored it. But if you have done that, you are a chemist. You have combined chemicals together in a specific ratio, applied it to your body.
Know when to, how long to leave it on.
How long to leave it on,
when to take it off, how to wash it off.
Exactly. So you are a chemist. Ooh. And you, proud of you.
Thank you.
There you go. So a lot of women are afraid of science because it is presented in a way that's very intimidating.
Yeah.
But once we realize that if you're mixing water, lime, and sugar, that is a mixture. That is a chemical mixture that cannot be separated once it's mixed well. That is a part of the basics of chemistry. Yeah. What is a mixture? What is a compound? So sometimes they're introduced to us in spaces, in cold labs and stuff where we're very intimidated and afraid of what it is. But science is all around us.
Yeah.
We understand science at a very basic level, but it is sometimes for someone to, break it down and to show you, hey, you've done that. That's chemistry.
Yeah.
That's physics.
So there's a need then for more young people, especially our young women then, to seek out these careers and even education in the science industry. How is it there? What should we be doing more of? Do we need more of this?
Well, I work in an office that is predominantly women, but we definitely need more women in the environmental sciences, in biology, in chemistry, in engineering, in architecture. And so I would definitely encourage parents. I used to talk to parents all the time when I was at the University of the Bahamas,
Yeah.
We have researchers that come from all over the world to study the Bahamas' biodiversity, to learn about this environment, to work in this environment. And so there are options, there are so many options. If your child, your daughter in particular, has a good science brain, she's always asking questions and very inquisitive, and she likes to work with her hands, push her in that direction.
Yes.
It's a mixture.
I love it. Well, science truly is more than a subject. It's a bridge between knowledge and action, discovery and peace. Dr. Neely, thank you so much for joining us and for continuing to champion science as a tool for understanding, growth, and unity. Happy World Science Day.
Happy World Science Day.
Thank you so much for being here. Well, all hail the king. The Grammy nominations are out, and is Meghan Markle heading back to the big screen? Find out next in What's the Buzz?